Ty, now that you've had a day to process it, one question I wanted to have going forward was, were you happy with the way that you guys created second chance opportunities in the game? You got a lot of offensive rebounds, and can you also speak to the play of Larry Nance?
Yeah, we're very pleased with that, having 18 offensive rebounds. I don't think we capitalized on enough of those, but we did get 18 offensive rebounds. And Larry Nance's activity around the rim, is great. And when they're playing small, they're switching a lot of things. Him being on the offensive glass and him being on the glass and easy putbacks, giving us extra possessions as well as Tristan is huge for us.
Kevin had mentioned that it's kind of you got to be careful though too. If you commit too many guys in on it, then you can get burned the other way. So is this one of those things a balancing act of being careful about how many guys you send to the glass?
Well, I think if Kevin's inside the paint, definitely go for the offensive rebound with him, Larry, and Tristan. But if they're on the perimeter and the shot goes up, it's hard to crash from the perimeter and then try to, get back in transition because they're so fast. So if they're in the paint and they're around the basket, we definitely want those guys going for offensive rebounds. But if Kevin's outside the three and shot goes up, we definitely want him getting back in transition to stop and help with that.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Our next question in queue is from Joe Varden with Cleveland.com. Please go ahead.
Hey, Ty. We in the media are still waiting on this. I'm not sure if you've heard from the league. Is Tristan going to face any further issues for everything that happened last night?
Haven't heard anything yet, but I know the league will do the right thing. So, haven't heard anything about him being suspended or anything like that.
And then, obviously we all talked at length about the change in call. One thing that I'd like to know, though, is, they're saying that the trigger is if there is not clarity as to whether the defender is outside the charge line. But LeBron wasn't close to that. He was way outside of it. So has there been any explanation as to who decided that there was not clarity or how you determine, like how they even determined that there wasn't clarity to begin with? Have you gotten any explanation on that?
No explanation. It was a tough call. We understand that, but now we got to bounce back and be ready to go, for game two. And our guys was, disappointed about the loss, but it's behind us now. Now we got to focus on what we did well and carry that into game two and play better.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you very much. Our next question in queue, that will come from Dave McMenamin with ESPN. Please go ahead.
Hey, Ty. Two questions for you. One, another question about the league. Have they fined you for your comments about the ref?
I haven't heard anything yet.
Okay. And then the other one would be, you say, you guys are ready to move on. You have to move on, focus on the positive. Is there any parallel here between Game 1 of the 2015 finals, where you lose a disappointing game in overtime to the Warriors, Kyrie Irving blows out his knee, and somehow you were able to rally in that time period in between games 1 and 2 to win game 2? Can you reflect on that time and apply any lessons from that to this situation now?
Well, it's a different team, but we have to have that same mindset and same attitude. We lost a tough game. It's over. It's behind us. We did a lot of great things in that game. So we just got to carry it over, and we got to play better on Sunday. We got to expect they're going to play better. So we definitely got to play better on Sunday, and I know we're capable of doing that.
Thank you. Our next question in queue, that will come from Mark Spears with ESPN, The Undefeated. Please go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, Ty?
How you doing?
I had a question about just Rodney Hood. I was wondering if you could just talk about...
Your phone line's cutting out, Mark.
I was wondering if you could talk about just Rodney Hood and what kind of caused him to go...
I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Mark.
You can't hear me?
No, it's cutting in and out.
So my question was about Rodney Hood.
You said Rodney Hood?
Yeah.
Okay.
And just what... just talk about his, arrival and kind of what's gone, where things have kind of went in opposite directions for him.
I can't.
Got here, going from being a great scorer in Utah to struggling in Cleveland.
I can kind of hear your question, but Rodney's been working hard. Had opportunities in the first round, and he's been working to play, and he's going to get opportunities. So just because he didn't play last night or that much in the Boston series, I've always talked to him about being ready, staying ready, because he is a great talent, and we're going to need him. So he's going to get a chance and an opportunity.
Is confidence the biggest challenge for him?
Yeah, I think coming from a situation in Utah where he was accustomed to, he was used to that, and then coming to a situation after mid-season, to a team that had championship aspirations, and he didn't really get a chance to have a full year and a full training camp, and understanding what we wanted here. But he's been great, and he did a good job throughout the course of the regular season, and then in the playoffs it's just been a little different for him. So we got confidence in him. He has to have more confidence in himself, and he's going to be a big part of what we're trying to do. So, he's not X'd out right now.
Thanks.
Very much. And ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder, to queue up for questions, you may press star followed by 1. Again, star 1 for questions. Next in queue is Greg Logan with Newsday. Please go ahead.
Hi, Coach. In the aftermath of last night's game, there seemed to be a disconnect between J.R. Smith's understanding of the situation when he got the offensive rebound. You said that he didn't really understand the score. LeBron said he didn't know what he was thinking, and J.R. said he knew the game was tied. Have you felt it was necessary? Have you talked to him since the game to straighten out that situation? And are you disappointed with his lack of mental discipline in that situation?
Yes, we've talked, but I'm not going to share that conversation last night. But, it's a tough play. I mean, if J.R. Smith doesn't get the offensive rebound, they might get the rebound, call timeout, and win in regulation. So just for him fighting for that rebound at the end of the game was important. And whether he knew time and score or not, getting the rebound and, not getting the shot off, it was big because they could have got the rebound, called timeout, and, like I said, won in regulation. So that's behind us. It's over. There's nothing you can do about it now. So we just got to focus in on game 2.
And so can I ask then, have you lost any confidence in him, or do you expect him to start again in game 2 and go on from there?
Yeah, he's going to start, and no, I haven't lost confidence. JR can shake off anything, and when everybody tends to count JR out, that's when he comes through. So he's definitely going to start again, and he's a big part of what we do. And that last play is over, it's behind us, and now we got to move on.
Just one more thing, if I could. How does the team, as a team, overcome such a demoralizing event?
Well, every game in the playoffs is important, whether you lose by 30 or lose by 1 or whatever happens. So, the game's over. There's nothing we can do about it. The team understands we had a chance to win that game, but we didn't. So now we got to move on. We can't dwell on it. We can't live on that because then we won't be able to perform in game 2. So it's behind us, and we're ready to go for game 2.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. And our next question in queue, that will come from the line of Tim Reynolds, Associated Press. Please go ahead.
Hi, not really, not just specific to Sean Livingston's shot last night, but what's your policy, if there is one, on when you guys take a violation, when you guys look to score? I mean, usually the benches are kind of emptied at that point anyway. Do you have a policy on when to play it out or when to take a shot clock violation when you guys have the ball and know you're about to win?
I mean, when it's, for us, I think when the game's out of hand and we know the team can't, score a basket in 2 seconds, then we usually run it out. But, their policy all year has been they shoot the ball. They don't take the turnover. So you got to play it to the end of the, to the buzzer, and they took a shot, and that's what they do. So, it doesn't determine the game. The game was over. So it's no big deal to me. So whatever.
Thanks, Ty.
Thank you very much. Our next question will come from Marla Rittenauer with Akron Beacon Journal. Please go ahead.
Ty, one more thing about kind of in the shaking this off. Will you guys do anything today as a team, or is everyone going their separate ways, or do you think they need to be together or apart? Or
no,
wondering.
We'll have a team dinner tonight that we'll all get together. listen, we're not broken. All right, we lost a game. You got to win 4 in this series. We understand that, and it was a tough game for us. We played well enough to win, but we didn't. So now we got to move on. So the guys' confidence are not shaken. We see what we need to do and how we need to perform to win. So we have the blueprint. So now we got to execute at a higher level.
The LeBron was talking about his eye. I don't know if you know anything about that today. He said he had some blurred vision during the game when Draymond poked him. Have you heard anything about that?
No, he's fine. I mean, he had a little redness in his eye last night, but he's fine.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. And our next question in queue, that will come from Ron Krychek with the San Francisco Chronicle. Please go ahead.
I know you were asked earlier about the overturned call on LeBron last night, but I'm curious your view in general on those kind of calls. Should the league or should the refs be allowed to overturn a judgment call? That's a fairly recent phenomenon. I'm curious what you think overall of that as a policy.
Well, I mean, whatever the rule is, you got to abide by it. But I just wasn't clear on the rules about if you check it, if he was inside the restricted area or not, and then you change the call when he totally was outside. So whatever the rule is, just stick to that rule. So, I'm not sure as far as the circumstances from last night. But it's over now. We got to move on.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question will come from Dave McMenamin with ESPN. Please go ahead.
Ty, you might run out of ways to describe LeBron because he's done a lot of amazing things this postseason. But where does Game 1 rank for you? I mean, 50-plus points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and was scoring from all over the court. And when Golden State seemed to put a gap in between you two teams midway through the fourth quarter, LeBron kept you guys in and kept getting to the rim. What do you make of his performance?
Great performance. I think he did everything he could to, will our team to win. He's been doing it all season. You've seen it all season, Dave, of, playing 82 games, throughout the course of the playoffs, making big shots, game-winning shots. And this right here is just a testament to what he's been doing all year. And he puts in the work. He takes care of his body. He's always doing the right thing. So last night was no different, scoring 51 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and just showing his team on the biggest stage of how you have to play to beat this team, and he did a great job of that. Can
he play any better than that?
I hope so. I know it's asking a lot, but, we need him to lead by example, being aggressive, attacking the basket, and we know they're going to come and help. They're a help team, and guys are going to get shots, or, if you don't have a shot, then you got to put it on the floor and make another play. So he did that last night, and, he has to keep it up.
Yep.
Our next question in queue will come from Alvaro Martin with ESPN. Please go ahead.
Coach, last night there seemed to be an emphasis on keeping the pace under control, maybe slowing down the pace a bit, and yet maybe in 4 or 5 possessions, the action at the end of the possession came in maybe a second and a half or half a second and a half too late for you to give yourselves options if the first initial action didn't work. What were your thoughts on pace and on the initiating of the last attack on the basket at the end of possessions last night?
I thought the pace was good. I thought when we had chances to run and get out in transition after rebounding the basketball or turnovers, we did great. As far as, trying to create the switch and, attacking to be able to make another play, another move, we got to get into it a little sooner, a little earlier. But, overall, I thought we did a good job of getting to the mismatch, taking advantage of those mismatches. And then, a couple of times we got into it a little late, so we got to do it a little faster.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question comes from Joe Varden with Cleveland.com. Please go ahead.
Tried to talk a little bit about this last night too, Ty, but now that you've seen the film, can you talk about what happened in overtime, or was it merely just being overcome by emotion just by what happened at the end of regulation? You guys just couldn't do anything in the extra
We had some good shots, and we didn't make them. And then they made a couple shots early to kind of get the lead, and we was kind of playing from behind, playing catch up. But we got some good shots. Like JR got a wide open three to start to start the overtime that we didn't make. Kevin got a good look. So we just couldn't make shots in overtime.